Hello, everyone. What am I doing here? Hi, desktop. I'm not down here. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Make a Good 48-Hour Megaman level blind run. And when we last left off, we were nearing the end of Tier 9. I didn't finish it because I believe I was already about 2.5 hours into my stream, and I was pretty much done by that point, so... for now, though, I think we're done playing with Davwin for a little bit. What other custom costumes do I have? Sure, why not? Taco Man! Taco Man, if you don't know, is from Make a Good Mega Man level 2. And was basically the namesake of his own stage, which was notorious for having one of the worst songs in the entire game. I don't know if I would go that far. It was bad quality, but admittedly oddly catchy. I don't know why. And the guy who made the stage, which I believe was Shoe Slime, was finally admitted to being the one to actually make the theme. And hats off to him for making his own custom song. That's not easy. What the hell was that about? Okay, I did that one already. So, we are continuing from that. That was the last one I did. You're talking to the guy with the flame, right? I bet I see him in the dining hall later. Anyways, 21st place, Llama Ombre, Cornerstone to Dominate. Scores 69, 74, 65, 50, 87. So yeah, I was watching people's runs of levels that I have already played, and I should probably stop doing that until I've actually completed the game, because I got myself spoiled for what is actually first place. I wasn't spoiled as to who made it, fortunately. Just spoiled by the name of the level, but nothing else. So hopefully I forget about it. So that's what you're gonna do. Ooh. Those are gonna be some interesting puzzles later, aren't they? Hopefully. Seems like that's the route this stage is going. Going down. Well, gotta go for this suspicious passage. Even though I don't need it. Yeah, I tend to be a hoarder in Mega Man games. Oh, screw you. Really? Oh, come on! Oh yeah, I bought a couple shiny weapons too. Beat's shiny now. Rush Jet's shiny. And I think I can do that with every single weapon in the game. Fortunately, Rush Coil is not shiny yet. And I love the fact that it's tacos. What else would it be, really? Damn it. And if it wasn't a full charge. Oh, come on. Go this way. Ha! Not mother paying attention. Get rid of this giant slinky. Unfortunately, I don't know what their official name is. Given that it's Megaman, I somehow don't think it's Giant Slinky. I keep expecting more to be done with those platforms, but... down. Oh! Nice. It was a platform to stop me, so... Oh, it's in my pocket. I'll look here in a minute. Boss fight! Metal Man! Hey, they found a way to make Metal Man threatening. Woo! That was a pretty intense boss fight. I liked that. Oh, there's nothing on my phone. Get a sip of water before I read this. Alright. Parmesan. This level looks and sounds really good. It's also super fun. The challenges you present are really fun and engaging with a healthy difficulty curve. Using the large spring enemies with the platforms feels really good, especially since both aren't used like this in their original games. Also, as someone who doesn't like most mini-bosses, I enjoyed this one. Good job. PK Ouija. I liked this one, even if it was a tad short. What was there is definitely nicely designed. I guess you could say it's cute. I would have liked to see more combining of the two gimmicks, though. Oh, and fighting Metal Man on the platforms was fun. M-Jack. Halfway-ish through the level, there's a set of crash lift rails shaped like an upside-down L. The platform doesn't need to be shaped like that, indeed. That little vertical crook just extends the wait time before you can try the segment again. The stage has a lot of little moments like this where the crash lifts are placed in a way that adds a lot of downtime to the level. So while it's well made, there's enough to drag the level isn't all that fun. I think you should have tried a lot harder to counteract this than you did. The Metal Man fight is also just weird. Easy to cheese, but with a lot of downtime while you wait for Metal Man to slowly die as he jogs in place. Freems. A level doesn't always have to awe and amaze just to be a good time. This is another one of those levels that just kind of casually delights the whole time, and I feel like I'm sitting down and playing some Mega Man. The angle platforms didn't terribly go crazy, but I always liked seeing crash platforms being used as smaller rail sections. It sure beats waiting a whole cycle for a platform. Just moving a little bit is able to add a little spice to a normal section. I especially liked how it was used with the Hippo mini-boss. The first time, the platforms are on small rails, giving you a lot of time to jump and shoot, but you gotta switch often. The second time, it's a longer rail, meaning there's a bit more wait time, but to balance out it gives you more time to shoot the mini-boss at the top of its arc. I don't know why I'm having a hard time reading today. Oh, and random buttons are pressed. Arc, okay. It's also the right way to plug gimmicks in the boss room. Not something completely pointless, but not something that just makes the boss unfun. The platforms add just a little spice to Metal Man's jumping, which is fun. Doesn't really break any new grounds, but I liked it. Yeah, I had a good time with that level, and it ended... You were not there before. It ended in a very nice way with the Metal Man on the platforms. I thought that was a very nice touch to a otherwise ho-hum fight, to be honest, but what are you going to talk about? The Berserker. Okay. Cornerstone of Dynamite while defeating 5 enemies or less. I really hate it when you complete a quest, or you complete a level, then a quest comes up to go back to the level you just completed. Why do that? 5 enemies. Alright, let's go. I wonder if the mini-bosses count. Ah, stop sliding! Get this? That might not be worth it. Take advantage of flexibility frames. Nobody says I can't use E-tanks. And for a case like this, I absolutely will. Alright. Oh, shoot. Haha. Yeah, this is gonna be... I gotta be careful, those fucking plat... Oh, come on. Whew. Okay, so mini-bosses count. Which probably means Metal Man's gonna count too, so I gotta be really careful. Down we go. Yeah, definitely get that. Oh, my amulet's not on. Crap. Yeah, we're gonna put that on for this challenge. Fuck you. Oh, this room's gonna be a thing. Woo! No, no, no. Some of these rooms really feel like they're next to impossible to complete without taking damage in this challenge. Or impossible, for that matter. Rather take 2 damage than 4. Going down. Yes, give me that, definitely. Go away, you flying butt plugs. Okay, so I could have killed at least 2 enemies from the looks of things. See if I can get you back in that pattern that I got you in before. Woo! Nice. Alright, give me my reward. Energy saver. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring that to Joseph, see if he can do anything with it. And then I'll finally, hopefully, clear out Tier 9. Oh. I forgot about this. I really hope this doesn't send me to the fortress. Because I really don't want to... Okay, good. So... Alright. So if I want to go to the fortresses, I just jump in that little submarine. But now let's actually go to Joseph and do what I wanted to do. Because the energy saver will definitely help out. Ow. No, shut up. I want to know what I need. So I gotta find something conductive to repair the wiring. I was hoping he just had to clean the dust off like it frickin' said. No, don't do that. No, that's tier 10. Jesus. I keep hitting the up button. Big guy. Ice skating. I get it. Haha. Alright, what do we got here? 20th place, Narfna. Through the catacomb. No, through the crabacombs. Oh boy. Score 69.25. 78, 60, 83, 58, 56. Yep, it's those crabs. And a skip teleporter. 20th place skip teleporter. That's actually kind of amazing. Oop. Oh no. I'm underwater. Okay. Ichichi drop. Fuck's sake. Those bubbles don't protect me against spikes. Let's go down this way this time. Why is that there then? I thought this was gonna be a level with like multiple paths or something. Oh, for fuck's sake. I guess we're going this way. Quite frankly, any level that has these frickin' crab enemies should be skippable. So frickin' annoying. Oh. You know what the hell? It's been taunting me all this time. Oh, screw it. Now, I bet when this level actually starts getting going, it's really good. If I could get past this first screen, we'd find that out. And to be honest, wouldn't necessarily say it's hard. I'm just making really stupid mistakes. Yeah. Really? That's terrible placement, enemy placement. And there's a bird that spawned that didn't before. I really don't like those enemies. Yep, I knew it was gonna time like that. Huh? Oh. I went the wrong way, I think. No, I went the right way. I don't know how I was supposed to do that Buster only, but... just out of reach. You know what? I've already had to use my rush coil. Might as well. Hit the jump button. I mean, I guess clearly I didn't hit the jump button because I didn't jump, but I certainly thought I did. Ah, fucking you and your bubbles. Now leave that fucking guy there. That's not gonna... Oh, it did spawn. Yeah, I kind of figured I was gonna get hit by that if I tried jumping there. There definitely seem to be a lot of places that seem next to impossible to complete with just Buster only. I'm going to... Thought I was going to time that really incorrectly. No, 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 no! Oh, phew. Thought I was gonna die there. Yeah, there you go. Oh no! Well, sucks that I gotta do this all over again, but and the bird enemies don't come back. Okay. So where do I go? Another spot that looks like it's impossible to do Buster Only without taking hits. Oh my god! I know exactly where the fucking checkpoint was, too. I don't know what it is about those crow enemies that I freaking despise them. No, it has nothing to do with them taunting me when they hit me. Their shots at times are just super difficult to avoid. I thought that way in the Shade Man stage too. Oh, that probably screwed. Nope. Okay, I think it. They are weaker than their Super NES counterparts. I don't remember those dying in one charge shot. Okay. In all honesty, that wasn't nearly as long as I thought it was. Okay. That wasn't nearly as long as I thought. Oh, Grey Devil. Just, yeah, just slide right into it. Oh, 21 minutes. I normally don't do it until I actually read. So somebody did perfect run that. Oh, the guy who created the level. Okay. So nobody else is perfect running that except for the creator of the level. Ah, boy. It was a creator of the level. Yeah, it was. Alright. Parmesan. Crabacombs. I love it! What I don't love is the checkpoint placement. Like, legit. If you fixed that, you'd solve most of my problems with this stage. Your gimmicks in the bubble crabs are fairly conductive to using spikes and pits as obstacles. And the challenges you made, especially with the 3 Gyroman platforms on top of each other, covering a hole or the long vertical sections with the bubbles, are great uses of the gimmicks. Really good job. The issue is that since so much of the level is based on instant death, you need more checkpoints to make the level better. Going through the same sections multiple times is boring since this is not a fast-paced level. Splitting this level into 3 or 4 sections instead of 2 would go a long way in making it better. Despite that, the level feels, sounds, and looks great, get it? With the sewer theme. Has the nice dismal sewer feel. Overall, good experience. PK Ouija. Dang, those crabs were a pain at times. Well, this stage was pretty fun at times, and at others, it felt kinda bleh, if that makes sense. Clearly, there were clever ideas behind these challenges, but some of them just didn't click right with me. The last bubble elevator, for example. The crabs kind of screwed me over more times than I have liked. Overall, though, it was decently fun. M-Jack. Difficult sections in Mega Man games, and most video games really, comes in 2 varieties. You got tricky sections which are difficult because executing the correct maneuvers to get through them requires skill on the player's part. You've got gotcha sections, which are difficult because they require you to act and respond extremely quickly. So single-screen Yoku block puzzles are tricky, quick lasers and spike drops are gotcha-y. Both can work in a level, but you get significantly more leeway on tricky sections than you do on gotcha sections when it comes to how punishing a level is. Players get less angry when the mistakes they make are due to something they could have foreseen. This is a long prelude to say that while this level is very, very hard at points, and it's light on checkpoints as well, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The sections done over pits have very generously timed and obvious cycles. I never thought that my failure on these sections was due to anything other than human error. Meanwhile, while there were a couple gotcha enemies, the Chirons for example, they never showed up over spikes or pits. It's not ideal that the difficulty curve was close to backwards, and the earliest part of the level was harder than what came afterwards, especially when you had to hop between ledges placed directly above one another. But I can forgive that. This level is really, really well made from a technical standpoint. If you ask me, clean level architecture, interesting setups, that sort of thing. That final segment in particular is ace. The bubble elevator turning into a more standard wave bubble puzzle as you dodge spikes and M445s was really cool. And a nice showy capper to the level. Grey Devil was pretty cool as well. I suspect I'm in the minority on this one, but I really like this level in spite of how tough it is at spots. To the point where I think it warrants a skip teleporter, not for me mind you, for other people. Just a really solid platforming experience. Freems. Well, we got ourselves a perfectly fine level, so let's get talking. A few placements of the crows didn't feel well thought out, given how they act upon almost instantly upon spawning on screen, which is more annoying when the screen just keeps going up vertically. There were probably a few more spikes than that really needed, and a few jumps that just felt more janky than they really needed to be. Now, you certainly did have unique ideas for the gimmicks. Using the gyro blocks in a way that there's multiple ways to go down, and you have to determine the correct one while dodging enemy fire, and the bridge of wave bubbles at the end that slowly gets smaller as some of them hit spikes. These are neat ideas in theory, but I don't think the level takes full advantage of them. The gyro situation can be handled very quickly, and the enemies prove a little threat, and while the wave bubble section at the end is cool in theory, it really ended before it began. And given the fact that it was underwater, it was very easy to just skip the whole last part of it entirely and jump up to the boss door. They're kinda saved for special moments when I almost wish more of the level was dedicated to these cooler sections. More of that would have been great. Despite the fact that it took me 21 minutes to actually complete the level on my first run, and I gotta say I did enjoy this level. I had a solid time playing the whole thing, as frustrating as it may have been at times, especially the very early segment, and pretty much the very first room of the stage. Checkpoint placement was an issue, but after playing the sections a few times, I realized that the sections weren't necessarily long, it was just how I handled them that made them longer. If you handle them perfectly, you should be able to complete them relatively quickly. What I'm trying to say is this is basically how you make a hard level fun. I never felt, aside from a few issues of me and using the controller and I slide instead of jumping, I never felt like any of the deaths were due to bad level design. It was basically all my doing as far as that goes. I still don't like those crab enemies that fire the bubbles, but what can you do with that case? It was in the guy's box, he had to use them, and that's that. So I had to deal with them. But like I said, that was a very solidly made level. But yes, it absolutely warrants a skip teleporter. Alright, tier 10. This is where they're going to start to get really good. I guess this is the pool area. That's 18, so I want 19 first up here. 19th place, CWU01P, Spicy Banana Bread. Spicy Banana Bread Storehouse. Score 69.75. 82, 58, 73, 66. Let's do it. Oh, these enemies. Haha! I just noticed the conveyor belt moves them. Going down. Damn bananas. I ain't getting that. Nice little mini boss there. Oh, they're gonna be respawning. Just move. I think they're done respawning. Just jump right into the banana. Oh. This isn't gonna be nice. Oh, come on! No! Why would you do that? Oh, come on. Those fire. Oh, come on now. How am I supposed to... Good, it was generous enough to give me life at the end of all that. I was writing reviews yesterday on levels, and I ended up playing make a good 48. Screw this. Make a good 48-minute Megaman level and writing a review on that, and quite frankly, that has really killed my want to have any auto scrollers in any of these Megaman levels. How many fucking hits do those eggs take? Oh, why did I do that? Stop moving! Fireman doesn't move that much. He sits there on the edge of the room and he shoots flames. So I get his pattern in this game now. Okay, good. I was gonna say that better up at the end. Alright. Parmesan. This level is really fun. It uses the gimmicks in creative ways. The fire in the intro is introduced in a safe manner, which I appreciate. The whole difficulty curve feels really solid and natural, and the level gets challenging at the end while never feeling like too much. The boss uses the gimmicks without going into the realm of stupid. I had no real issues with the level other than there being better. It's genuinely fun, so I'm glad I could play it. PK Ouija. It works. That's pretty much it. It doesn't stand out that much, but it's well enough designed. One notable thing is that the auto-scroller at the end, which was paced really well. It didn't feel slow or boring, and the speed was just right for the amount of action that was going on. M-Jack. This box could have been a recipe for disasters. Swallow eggs plus monkey keys plus conveyors equals yikes. But the resulting level is actually pretty good. Part of this is due to some smart decisions. Insta-death is kept to a minimum, challenging segments are done over lava rather than bottomless pits, so you have iframes to burn should you get knocked off. And checkpoints and health pickups are plentiful. There's also a really nice ramping up difficulty curve with the Berserkers, which grow more and more threatening with each appearance, culminating in a mid-boss fight that I thought was extremely clever use of assets. Plus, this level does one of my favorite things you can do in these contests, which is have a fair auto-scroller in lieu of a final boss, with a checkpoint and generous health pickups before it to boot. Okay, it's not quite bossless because you fight Fireman, but he's a joke. The only thing I didn't really like about the level is that it has one of those sections where the monkey keys are firing at you from behind reflect blocks, turning them into turrets that you can't interact with. A lot of people did this, and in nearly every one of those cases, I thought it was a mistake. What's the point of having enemies if you can't take them out? A later screen had them toss stuff at you from out of range, but required you to go down and snipe them to progress, which is the correct way to do challenges like these. Freems. I think there were some well put together challenges in this level. The conveyors and fire waves were introduced pretty well and used pretty well throughout the level. The conveyors especially combined well with the axes to make some more unique challenges, and the combination of fire traps and conveyor belts near the end of the level provided a decent challenge that felt like a natural difficulty curve. However, for every challenge that made sense, there were rooms that just felt like padding, mostly in regards to the auto-scroller at the end, which really added nothing to the level and just slowed down the pace of the level overall. The mini-boss and boss fight were also rather strange themselves. I guess fighting a fast axe with more health is an idea, but in general, there's a reason why enemies with a very simple pattern don't have a lot of health. And let me tell you that, it's not fun to fight Fireman in such a cramped space. Cut out a little of the fluff, and I think this would be a really great level, but for now, we'll settle for good. There were moments in this stage that I absolutely hated. One of which wasn't even touched on by the judges, and that was the little back and forth climb going around the fire. I'm sure there were safe points that I could have stopped at, but I'd be damned if I did that. I probably should have, and it would have made that section a little bit more manageable. Plus, I'm just not a fan of those the fire waves from Fireman's Day. I didn't like them back in Mega Man 1 and Fireman's level, and I've yet to really play a level where they were used to a point where I actually liked them. This probably is the closest that it could get to being used well to that extent, but I don't know, man. I really hate that gimmick. So I guess nothing against the level itself. It's more the gimmick itself. Alright. 18th place, Flashman 85, Base in the Boondocks, score 70, 71, 66, 59, 84. Good old Flashman 85. Oh, knock that off. He's actually a judge in the upcoming Megaman 3. Which I will also be trying to do blind run of. But I can tell you right now, I probably won't be reading the judge comments on that one. There's 170 friggin' entries in that game. I mean, I'm reading the judge comments for 107 and it's already killing me. Alright. Buster only. I'm going this way. Oh, hold on there. Alright. That's clever. That is really clever. I like that. Get over there. Thank you. Let's get rid of you. And not get rid of you. Oh. Not getting that E-Tank. Now you stay up there. Yes, please. Yeah, damn it. Alright. Dynaman. I think this might be the first time I've fought you. Your pattern's actually very easy to read. I just actually gotta come at you at full health this time. 5 jump, 6 jump, 7 jump. Alright, so it's a little different every time then. Oh, get off of me! The only issue I'm having with this boss is the fact of how much health he does when he smashes into you. That was a fun little stage. I like that. A little too short, but it was fun for what it was. Parmesan, why did you stop? This level had so much going for it, but it just feels incomplete. Using the monkeys and the plant missiles to block the lasers is just so satisfying. The owls blocking the lasers so you couldn't kill them without consequence was also great. You had so much going, but it just feels like it needs another section. Even the owls and the Mars mines worked really well together. I really enjoyed this. This level looks and feels great, and the enemies feel so purposeful. It's just not enough to feel wholly fleshed out. PK Ouija. I want to like this level more than I do, because the ideas are not bad. Having enemies block the lasers is a cool take on things, but the enemies you most prominently used were two which had quite erratic and unpredictable movements at times, or were too fast to hold the lasers up for any reasonable amount of time. The sections with the owls were handled way better. Also, I don't see the point of the lasers in the boss area. Area, whatever. M-Jack. So here's my thing with this level. You have a gimmick that's unique and mostly works, with the enemies blocking the lasers, but I found that the level was significantly more enjoyable when I just cheesed through those bits by damage boosting. I think it's just a little too finicky with the enemy set here. Although, there was a valiant attempt to make it work with the monkings and the flower pots. Other than that, this level is unexceptional, but solid. The Mars mines were used admirably, and in particular. I was less enthused with the Vankaro jumps, which weren't really hard. Freems. Let me tell you, this level really didn't do anything super flashy off the walls, but I loved it. When I first saw that the flower missiles were blocking the mines, I nearly lost my mind. You managed to use all of your enemies' work with the lasers wonderfully. Your first instinct is to kill those fan enemies, but if you do, then you're gonna get pelted with a face full of laser. Unlike the original source, the game never forces you to make use of concrete shot to make it through the level, but there are a handful of times where it's helpful. But it's never mandatory. There were a small handful of times where the enemy placement was a little awkward, but I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the introduction of the fan enemy, and unfortunately, the checkpoint room with the fan enemy is a tad glitchy. Nothing game-breaking, but the fan seems to have effect on Megaman's teleport animation. But for doing such a simple concept of let's have enemies interact with these lasers, I really enjoyed myself. So good on you. Yeah. My only issue with the level is just how short it was, because that was fantastic to play through. I was very happy with that level. The enemies blocking the lasers was such a unique and good idea. I have not seen that done before, so hats off to you. But yeah, it's just too short. It could have gone so much longer, and I would have been so much happier with it. Close to what I heard. Whenever the kitchen gets desperate for fresh food. Aww, out of the pool. Alright, what's next? 17th place, Bucket, Into the Furnace. Score, 70.25. 53, 80, 91, 57. This theme again, huh? I love this theme, but I've already heard it so many times in the contest. Haha. Okay. Did not see that coming. Whoa. Tackle fires. Okay. I don't want to be cooked. Then again, everybody loves a crunchy taco. No, I prefer my tacos crunchy. Not this taco, though. Can I turn these off? I can turn them off, okay. I think only certain ones I can turn off, though. Because I think I've definitely gone through switches more than once. That's why I can turn that one off, okay. Damn it. Ooh, ooh. Wow, okay. That was some slowdown. I cannot shoot you, okay. Oh, okay. I saw what it wanted me to do. Ha ha ha. get rid of that shield attack first. Oh, why do I keep trying to jump there like that? I don't think I'm a fan of this section because of how beefy the enemy. Oh, come on! Okay. Oh, come on, damn it. It's my fault. Stop jumping over to the platform I'm on. You're still just dust, man. Get some water. And judge commentary. Parmesan. This level has kinda weird checkpoint placement. And it's not that it just has too many screens between sections. It just feels like the length of each section and the theming of them is weird. Overall, it's an okay level with its ups and downs, but there's just some weird stuff here to talk about. Like, near the start of the level, you have creative setups with the levers and the tackle fires, where you really have to think about where you're gonna stand on each challenge and each challenge feels like a problem where you have to think for a second about how to solve it. I think those are pretty enjoyable, but as the level goes on, these fall off. But as the level goes on, these fall off, and think. Okay, that's why I'm getting so confused. I don't think that I is supposed to be there. But as these levels goes on, these fall off, and I think it turns into more action platforming. That was tough to read with that eye there. Going back to what I said about the checkpoints, the first big oddity is putting the Trucker Joe as part of another screen without a checkpoint. It's really jarring, and frankly, when you're not expecting it, you sort of spend a second panicking since it's so different from the rest of this level. It's not a bad section, but when you hop in, you're not ready to just start moving, and then it's way too early to just die from the spikes. Now this can work if you have a checkpoint, since you could just try again, but you don't. You get sent so far back for no reason. Similarly, at the last checkpoint before the boss, you have a long challenging room, but then you have what feels like a final section that's way too short. It just feels like these should be broken up, and the last section could be more of a final challenge. This level just feels like it needs a revision, and what's here is underwhelming. You could definitely turn this into something way better, and it has potential. PK Ouija. I enjoyed this one a lot. The switches gave every room more layouts, which made them interesting to traverse. I didn't feel like anything was placed in an awkward place, and it made sense to me. I also highly appreciate the simple but very effective change to the boss room. Made a tad more challenging, but in a fun way. M-Jack. This is an impeccably designed and very fun level, but it took me a while to realize both of those things, because I was so distracted by the thing this level does best, appeal to my cat-like obsession with the tiny enclosed spaces. It's just so satisfying, running back and forth in a single room, hitting all the switches one by one. It's slightly less fun in the larger rooms, where you actually have to backtrack to find the switches, but they're not a drag by any means. The tackle fire dispenser setups are also well done, and the Trucker Joe fight is a good visual gag that's well integrated with gameplay. The graphics are also on point, giving a real sense of progression, as you go quite literally into the furnace. Anyone who thinks you need custom music or tiles to get a 15 out of 15 in aesthetics should take notes. The only real dour to note is that if you shoot Dustman while he's jumping over the pile of molten garbage, he will drop the energy element in the trash fire, where it's impossible to reach without suicide. Thankfully, this is difficult to trigger in normal play, but you already showed you knew how the boss barriers during the Trucker Joe. But you already showed you knew how to use boss barriers during the Trucker Joe fight, so you can't claim ignorance as an excuse. This is a minor issue, though, one that shouldn't detract from the master craftsmanship on display here. Top tier material. Frames. Man, it took a while to actually get into the furnace. I'd say that's the biggest problem this level has. It just goes on and far too long. Thankfully, the checkpoints are spaced out pretty fairly to compensate, but that doesn't quite change the fact that the level drags on, and I'd say a few sections could have definitely been cut. For example, the long stretch to the left with various switches in the way just kind of felt there. There were some nice challenges in here though, such as going through the same set of fire traps with the way the platforms are set up, changing each time. Overall, I'd say the box elements were put together really pretty well. Though I do want to say that the switch's introduction was a bit on the screwy side. The very first switch you flip cannot be flipped back. The second switch, however, can, and it can be flipped as simply as jumping underneath it, and doing so takes you right into a bed of spikes. I somehow have a feeling this wasn't noticed in the first place, but it's really surprising when you can't undo the first one. And unfortunately, our good pal Dustman ended up jumping into the lava a handful of times, making the level unbeatable without dying, as even if special weapons killed him, the energy element would still be in the lava. Though, while the level definitely has problems, I wouldn't call it bad by any means. Excuse me, sorry. It's one of those things where if one had more than 48 hours, something real nice could have come out of this. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't give this a 90 like MJack did, just from her first playthrough. A lot of the... Obviously, this level takes inspiration from Angel's level in Megaman 2, and adding the tackle fires to the switches is actually a really neat idea. But yeah, a lot of the switches really make the stages just go on for a little too long. Segments, not stages. I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it, I guess, for what it was, but yeah, it probably could have been better and maybe trimmed down a little bit. I don't know. Alright, we're going up there and... Nope, we're not doing that yet. We're going to talk to this guy first. Tomothy Daddy. Okay. Don't know what that's all about. Finger Wind. Okay. 16th place, Mysterion Spin. Windy conditions. Score 71.50. 86, 70, 63, 67. I feel like there's a quest related to this. No, I guess not. Okay. Well, let's go. I'm getting a little bit of chugging. On the plus side, it's happening closer to the end of my stream as opposed to the beginning. Oh, oh! That's fun. That was my fault. Why wouldn't I jump off the frickin' ladder? Oh. There we go. I feel like the ladder upgrade really made that a lot easier than what it normally would have been. That is amazing that he was able to combine those two gimmicks. Ah, good old Airman. The whole meme, I can't defeat Airman. Now that I'm at full health, let me show you how easy it actually is. I do not know what the hell that thing was going to accomplish in that fight, but hey, we did it. That was a really fun stage. Parmesan. Thoroughly enjoyable level. Mixing these gimmicks together seems like a tightrope of making something awful or awesome, and you did awesome. It's very prone to just being frustrating and full of instant death with no room for error, but you avoided that. Generally, you always know what you have to do, and the parts that are reaction-based are fair and engaging. The pacing of the level is really good. The cannons can make a level grind to a halt, but mixing them with the Tengu Wind made it feel very fluid and good. I don't know what I would do to make this level better, but it looks, feels, and plays great. PK Ouija. Lots of thought went into this one, I can tell. The ball shooters were always positioned in just the right spots to make the level flow nicely and to make their shots go where they needed to with a bit of help, of course. The wind actually accompanied that pretty well, although the faster winds did come a bit out of nowhere at times, making it hard to react. MJack. Hey, you guys ever play Cannibalt? I like Cannibalt. I never really thought that Cannibalt needed a segment in the middle where you stop running and pursue a flower pot to move some bricks for you. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Actually, the earlier parts of this level where you're just riding the gales are pretty fun, albeit extremely glitchy, and with the ladders and sliding and the wind can accidentally getting you killed via clipping. Haven't had that happen, thank God. The checkpoints are placed extremely generously as well, which is nice to counteract all the instant death. And the setups with the Bokazuras early on are good. They're introduced well, you ramp up the difficulty well without relying on cheap gotcha moments. But then they get used together and the level just kinda hits a wall. Jump, jump, slide, slide is fun, citation needed. Bukazara is fun, but they're not two great tastes that go better together. The wind makes it impossible for you to get any real interesting setups, and the Bukazara blocks obstruct your potential wind joyride. The funny thing is that this level perfectly fulfills the formula of what everyone says a Mega Man level should look like. You introduce Test Gimmick A, then you introduce Test Gimmick B, and then there's a final stretch that uses gimmicks A and B together. This level is a really good illustration of why that formula really isn't a slam dunk, because the level is strongest when the two halves of it are separated rather than awkwardly smushed together. Frames. I think a staple of levels that want to use very fast wind is you need to give your players a chance to realize and accommodate when it speeds up really fast, and not stick a pit almost right after. While being able to change the speed helps keep things fresh, without the time to realize that you're thrust into a high-speed zone, odds are you're going right into that pit. Luckily, there are plenty of checkpoints to compensate so it doesn't feel terrible, but it's not the ideal situation. Outside of that, things are well and good. The pacing makes sense, the gimmick, the other, them both, though the wind can prove a little more than inconvenient in the final stretch if you find yourself going straight first into a machine hitbox, with it being a pain to get back out. And then if there were problems here and there, it made sense that it was put together really well. So good job. Though I don't quite understand the purpose of the machine in the boss fight. It's either supposed to reward you by maybe dunking Airman into the pit, or try to stop you from using certain special weapons. It's not a deal breaker, but I don't think I got the point. This was actually a really fun stage that used two gimmicks that look like, for the life of me, could never be used well together, and it actually uses them well together. I was amazed. This was a really fun stage, and like I said, it was really, really well designed. But yeah, I have no idea why that, apparently Bukazara is what they're called, was in the Airman room. Unless you use like Rain Flush or Flame Mixer to actually hit it and gets rid of the blocks of the platforms and the sides of the room. I don't know. I'm completely confused by that one. 15th place, Luna Leaf, Minari Hydrospace Center. Score 73.75, 66, 77, 86, 66. No zero gravity, huh? My background really feels like there should be zero gravity in this stage. So far, it's a pretty fun stage. I mean, nothing to write home about, but... Ah, screw you. Thought I could get through that before you jumped. I probably could have if I didn't hesitate. See ya. Oh, going that way just for a bolt? Oh! Fuck's sake. I really don't know how I get that E-tank without special weapons. Really? Okay. Oops. Oh, come on! I hit the jump button twice. Shoot your ass this time. Whopper! Oh! Whopper. hate when people feel like they need to make mini bosses just a slightly more annoying. Especially ones that are shielded 90% of the frickin' time. Oh my fucking god. Ugh. Fish. Outer space fish. Outer space fish that are put in the most awkward positions. Wait, so getting knocked off the platform rewards you? I feel like those things should have done something. I'll just sit here and wait. I feel like I'm lightning dodging in Final Fantasy X again. Ah, this fucking thing again. This time there's no frickin' thing on the ground to attack me, so... I gotta fight the whole thing, apparently. Death. That was an alright stage. Made good use of the Ringman platforms. I didn't particularly like the fish segments, but what can you do? Parmesan. In general, this is a really fun level. At the start, you can really just run past the enemies, which is fun in its own right as a challenge, but it gets harder in a fair way, making you have to actually change up your tactics as you go through. Really, I think the star of the show is the Ringman platforms. They are used phenomenally, especially in the ending sequence where you have to outrun them. The level's pacing of being tense but not unfair really shows as it progresses, making for a really fun experience. Two main problems. The first room with the fish is sort of frustrating since it's hard to predict where they will hit you. It's not a huge deal since it's by a checkpoint, but it did annoy me. Also, the boss just feels out of place and too long. I like that you use the Ringman platforms with the mini-boss, but the boss at the end just feels out of place. Solid level, although it could use a round of edits to be a bit better. Thought the boss was fine. Felt perfectly in place in a outer space setting. PK Ouija. Nice one. My favorite part was probably the long chase with the Ringman platform. It felt tense while still being fair enough to give enough room for error to not make it unfair and frustrating. The other parts of the stage were also fun, although the teleporting enemies were a bit annoying to take care of constantly. M-Jack. There's a lot to like about this level. Probably the best thing about it is how many types of challenges are present. Enemy challenges that test your finger trigger? Check. Puzzle platforming, which requires you to plot out how you're going to make your path? Check. Speedrun sections? Check. If you made a Venn diagram of these three varieties of challenge, I think you'd have stretches of level evenly distributed between both the circles and their cross sections. So, playing through the level, you never really get bored. And if the level really repeats itself, and the level never really repeats itself, other level designers should take notes. And yet, there's a lot of little problems with the level that somewhat hampered my enjoyment. There's minor aesthetic things, like having normal gravity in space, or having top solids that actually look like regular solids. Sometimes the bomber peepees and the tamps are used together in ways that veer towards spam. The fast horizontal run segment doesn't have a visible bite to it until it does and you die. The mini-boss just isn't fun at all. You figure out the way to get a charge shot in, and then you slowly chip away at its health. That's the only time the fun really stops. So you have a lot of those little marks against the level. Luckily, these little marks are just that, little, and don't detract from the otherwise high quality level you've got going on here. Oops. Frames. The pacing of the level was just sort of odd, all things considered. You would go from a section that uses the gimmicks in rather nice ways to a stretch of nothing, really. The most obvious example is at the end, where you have this big race against the Ringman platform, and then just one really normal platforming section with a few penguins hopping around. You'd think the big climax would be the end of the level. It's certainly not a huge factor, but it just kind of makes the whole level feel a little off with the pacing. The sections we do have aren't bad, albeit maybe a little standard at times, but are, for the most part, a perfectly fine time. The already mentioned chase kinda suffers because while there's goodies on the top path, I'm pretty sure taking all those goodie paths will absolutely not leave you with enough time to outrun the beam, and the rewards usually aren't worth the potential death. Also, the mini-boss is incredibly painful to do without cheesing with special weapons. Boss with tight timing versus 2 separate time-based gimmicks is a big yikes from this corner. Yeah, definitely the mini-boss is probably the biggest issue I had with the stage. Apart from that, anything I died frequently or a lot to was, for the most part, my own error. My own freaking way of playing. Which at times is poorly, admittedly. Do we want to get another one in? 2 hours and 5 minutes. Yeah. Let's do it. One more level. Now watch this level have a skip teleporter and take me 20 minutes to complete. What the hell? I definitely just saw something coming through that pipe. Yep. I guarantee you that's a water slide of some kind. 14th place, BBLIR, Frigid Inferno. Score 74, 79, 66, 86, 65. BBLIR. I think that was Forgotten Fortress in Megaman 2. Nice sprite at it. Whoa! Okay. To space! Oh, and now they got a little flame on the top. Ow. Wow. Way to make that boss so much easier. Come back here. Thank you. It's not an auto-scroller this time. Take my time with it. Ah, damn it! I don't think I can actually reach that. I have to land on the smaller platform. There you go. That was a lot better. Oh, now they got ice on them. This is really fun. Solar Man, okay. Wow. I didn't talk much in there because I was just in awe of the level, the aesthetic, and all of that. That was... I loved that level. That was fantastic. Sorry. Parmesan. Aesthetically, this level is fantastic. Hopping between the two sections and their respective gimmicks just feels great. The crystal dropping is challenging, but not obnoxious like it can easily turn into. The seesaws, while pretty usual for the course, are executed well. Following the AB section style mostly works for this level. But when you get to the combined section, it feels like you ran out of time. It's not that what you have is bad, but I want more. The level ends and it just feels incomplete. A stronger finale would have gone a long way for this, especially with how you built up the graphics with that. If you can make one, another draft or edit of this level could turn it into something really awesome. For now, it's good, but a bit underdeveloped. PK Ouija. At times, it's really fun and nicely designed. Other times, I just wonder if the crystal droppers were placed randomly in some rooms. That's honestly my big gripe, that they feel tacked on. I loved the ice and fire designs for the enemies though. It's adorable. And maybe it's just me, but the ice tile set hurt my eyes a bit with the flashing. Oh, and the Solar Man Resprite is a cool dude. M-Jack. Oh man, this level would be so cool hot, I guess, given the theming, if not for the tamps. What you have here is a really tight set of platforming challenges which require you to include multiple moving platforms. Tamp clashes horribly with that. You need a lot of free space above you for Tamp to be a fair challenge. But here, it keeps getting caught in the platforms or clipping out of bounds. I think if you kept to the Mets and Beetles during those sections, you'd be in much better shape. That being said, the theming here is on point, with a ton of care given to aesthetics, up to and including a custom boss. Wow! The stage also uses crystal droppers well by the carefully positioning in seesaws so you can avoid their projectiles by standing on the edge, and I can't stress this enough, not putting them all over instant death. It's always obvious what you need to do to progress, and the challenge comes from executing it, with very few surprises. Beyond the tamps, my only problem with the level is that the ice and fire segments don't feel very distinct. Like, the ice sections do have ice physics parts, but the challenges otherwise feel very similar, which is a little disappointing. I don't think it really hurts the level though. Freams. Blade Man seesaws are a tough thing to make interesting. It's a challenge to make a piece that says, hey, jump back and forth non-stop, and add some life to it, especially when the enemy choice isn't entirely up to your control. All things considered, I think things turned out pretty alright. There were certainly a few seesaw sections that did feel like the same jumping back and forth with little to no excitement, but there are others where there was more thought being put into what you were doing, which was very nice. And the crystal droppers complement the need to stand in a specific spot rather well. I do like how they were telegraphed with the pipes too. It's so easy to turn things into a guessing game, but the pipes help a lot in immediately showing you what's up. Though the fact they were not solid, while useful for some jumps, is a bit strange, and perhaps could have been colored differently to help show that part. Also, cute aesthetic touch on the enemies. I think I actually would rate this higher than even all the judges. This impressed me so much. I loved the change to the enemy sprites. I loved the platforming challenges with the seesaw blades. I loved the aesthetic switching between ice and fire in the factory. And the placement of all the enemies seemed on point. The placement of all the crystal droppers were on point. And the boss fight was a great recolor. I wish this game allowed custom bosses, because I would have loved to have seen what this person could have done with a custom ice and fire themed robot master. But my only gripe would be something that's not allowed in the contest. I loved this level. And it's making me want to play more, to be honest with you. You know what? Let's get this tier out of the way, because if this is 14th place, I want to know what's considered higher than this. I am still in awe at that level. That was friggin' amazing. Aw. 13th place, In Universe, Cloudy City. Score 76.75, 72, 86, 77, 72. That hitbox in the rat root really seemed off. This feels like it might be a Sonic song, maybe? I find generally if it's a really, really catchy song that I don't recognize, it's typically from Kirby. That's a series that I really haven't played much of. All this for a mystery tank? Ah. I think I took more damage going to collect that than I did getting it back. Squid. Cut you up and eat you. Love me some squid. Going up. Just a thought, but given the theming of this level, if they replace these bouncy blocks with clouds, I think that would have been a nice touch. Going down. Come on. It's a small bolt. I'm not gonna sweat over it. Oops. Squid. That was slightly obnoxious. Jesus, that took a lot of hits. Oh! Okay, they're not instant death. Didn't see that. Really? Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on! Why is that rat falling off the platform? Every single other rat is stopping at the edge. Oh, this is frustrating. Oh, come on! Fuck you. Jesus Christ. I got patience. I don't have that much patience. Sparkman again? Jesus. Well, that was annoying. Parmesan. Really competent level. It starts off a tad underwhelming, where it really is just an enemy and damage spike introduction, since, let's be honest, you're probably going to get hit by spikes in that one jump. Thing is, by the time you get to the second section, the level really picks up. The bouncy section really builds on using the enemies we just learned. Normally, I'm not big on mini-boss fights, but reusing the same squid mini-boss really made it feel like a cohesive challenge progression. In the same vein, the hologram section feels similar to the previous section, but with the added twist in a good way. Every time I had trouble with this level, my pain was alleviated by moving faster. Since waiting around always made the situation worse, especially in the horizontal bouncy room. Either way, fun level. It didn't really push any boundaries. It's just a solid level that did what it wanted to well. PK Ouija. The music fits the stage really well. Happy, easygoing, and just plain fun. While the bouncy platforms are a bit unpredictable, they were never put in a situation where you had to rely on their bounces in dangerous places. There, they were used as obstacles, which is a neat approach to it. Another small change I really appreciate is how the spikes do damage and don't kill you instantly. That made the few of the hologram rooms way less frustrating. Sparkman is surprisingly fightable with the floor out of bouncy platforms makes me kinda wish there were, though, that enemies could bounce as well. But that would probably just be a mess. Jack. What a cute little level! There's a steady ramping up of difficulty as new obstacles are introduced to the level one by one, which is always nice. I think if anything really bothered me about this level, it's that the enemies and the gimmicks seemed at odds with one another. Obviously, it's not your fault that the Earthbound submarine flyers weren't able to bounce up and down on the bouncy tiles, but that definitely felt a little weird. It's also odd that the Mousubels weren't used alongside the holograms. Okay, they kind of were, but not really. As a way of the player to suss out where the platform's edges are. And the last screen was pretty cruel without homing sniper. But it's very hard to hold any of that against this yummy little morsel of a level. Freems. That was just a cute and nice level to play, wasn't it? It looked pretty, it felt fair, and it was just a nice romp. On the whole, I wish the level didn't feel so segmented. It really felt like, oh, this is the segment with no gimmick, now the section with one of them, and now the section with another. I think that I just wish the gimmicks were introduced a little sooner and maybe a little filler was cut. The enemies were also a little odd. The lack of water pretty much made submarine flyers ineffective in most positions, and a couple rooms probably crammed in too many enemies at once. That and the very last hologram machine was kind of a strange move. Usually when you have the hologram machines, the path before you is still clear, so you can usually navigate a little in the dark. Here, it was either memorize this room's layout in half a second or just cheese it with homing sniper. However, on the plus side, I will say that I was not expecting a boss fight on bounce pads to work at all, so kudos for that. I'm apparently in the minority as far as this level is concerned. It felt very enemy spammy, especially towards the end of that one vertical section. I didn't die because I kept getting health pickups because there were so many enemies on the screen at once. And I'm pretty sure that rat falling off the platform was not meant to happen. It made that section even worse to have to traverse. So, I don't believe this. You mean 13th and 12th place have both of their maps disabled? Huh. And I'm seeing a circle. Or I'm seeing a circling Parmesan head. 12th place, Snowrump Pyro, Celestial Resort. Score 77, 94, 78, 70, 66. Parmesan's favorite. Snowrump Pyro is usually pretty good at making great levels. I mean, she's been doing this for friggin' years, so she better be. And I don't know. Something's bothering me about the fact that there are favorites in the game, but not least favorites. I don't know. I like the whole least favorites thing. I hope they don't just get rid of it completely. Hopefully it gets back to Megaman 3. Oh, that's clever. I like that. Oh! me? No, no! Oh, you piece of shit. I guess that was my own fault for using beat to actually get the health pick up. Should've just used rush coil. Just trying to slide with the platforms. I guess that was a mistake. Oh, I'm gonna have to go on that flame, aren't I? Oh, screw you. Whew. Doing something good, Eddie. Perfect. Yeah, you just go ahead and walk there. Good job. What the hell am I supposed to do there? There's a lot of areas in this level that seem pretty unfun to try to do Buster only. There, finally. So I gotta do that frickin' part again. And that's me getting irritated. Oh, now we're going diagonally. Okay. checkpoint, finally. How the hell do I get that? Oh. I think I know. Yep. Kinda figured. Ah, bullshit! Oh, good. Well, at least I finally figured out how to fucking pass those. Enemy spam much? You really shouldn't use that much of that enemy. I forgot a key. Oh. Why didn't I use an E-Tank? Because now I gotta do all of that all over again. Why do this? I guess that was the end of the level. Oh. Did not like the end of that level. Parmesan. I love this level. It's really creative and has phenomenal uses of all its assets, especially the gimmicks. The falling platforms on generators are amazing and feel like a new idea without getting rid of what the gimmick really does. The flames are always telegraphed and predictable while still being challenging. The level's highlights are the individual challenges, as almost all of them are amazing. Making the camera focus on different screens without having real transitions gave the level a kind of polish that you usually don't see in this contest. The level also looks great. It has a consistent atmosphere, and it just felt really fitting the whole way through. I have two issues though, and one, sometimes the flying enemies' shots get too chaotic, and it's too difficult to dodge the flurry of bullets. Not always, but just a mild reduction, especially near the last key gates. 2. Checkpoints are too scarce. The individual challenges are really good, but there are too many in each section. Making each section have one less challenge or so would make the level so much more manageable. I wouldn't even remove any of them, just make it so that you go through the first few challenges less times, and they are fun for a while. But after doing them ad nauseum, they get a bit dry. Despite that, this is still a highlight of the whole contest. Good job. PK Ouija. That's a good usage of the fire spikes. Clearly marked areas where they appear, making it reasonable to dodge them. And oh boy, the gyro platforms were used really creatively. And dang, it worked really well. The one gripe I have is that the last stretch with all the keys, it got a bit bullet hell happy with the enemies at the top, which distracted from the main challenge of getting all the keys, sadly. MJack. With every death I faced in this level, and there were a lot of them, there was only one thought coursing through my head. You should know better than this. Because this level clearly is not the work of an amateur. Its core gimmick requires somewhat advanced knowledge of custom spawners to pull off. And the use of soft borders and animated tile sets wouldn't even occur to someone who hasn't spent some time screwing around with the Megamix engine. And the actual challenges in the level are interesting and mostly fair. So why is this level's checkpoint placement so bad? I mean, there's evidence in this level that suggests the designer was aware the level was hard. What with how little damage the spikes do. 4? 4 for real. Oh, 4 for real. Haha, okay. Implying that there was some last minute number change meant to make the level easier. But the level's not hard because of the spikes. It's hard because of the lack of checkpoints, and the omnipresence of bottomless pits in the level with really finicky platforming. And you know, it's not like there was a lack of places to put checkpoints in this level. There were plenty of places that they could have been inserted that would not have been awkward, before the long vertical section for starters. Other than the lack of checkpoints, I think this level presents a really cool and novel set of challenges, both with the falling blocks and the fire spikes, and occasionally with the two gimmicks in concert. This level struggles a little to have their cycles match up, albeit not to the extent of some other levels. I was not super enthused by the rapid-fire falling block sections, which feel like they were banking on the player having as many platforms to stand on as they need, but not take into account that the platforms stop spawning once you get out of the spawner's range. I was actively angry at the final challenge, which replaces the level's cool gimmicks with a featureless hallway where you have no room to dodge the egregiously, there we go, large spawn of Wotan projectiles. I think this level could have been top 10 material with some very minor fixes. The gimmicks are cool, the aesthetics are low-key cool, and there's a lot of rad challenges, but it falls short on account of some unforced fouls. A real disappointment, despite all the good stuff here. Freems. It's kind of funny. This game took so long for anything to get done that I went from thinking this was just some random design to getting the reference. Funny how that works. I think out of all the levels in this contest, this is one that makes me the most sad. It makes some really solid use out of its two gimmicks. The fire finds ways to stay engaging despite being so simple, and the unique use of the Gyro Man blocks puts some spice into how the level design works. Both of them at the same time sometimes sucks because the two aren't always aligned, but it's not the end of the world. Everything is introduced well enough, the enemies are generally in good positions, so on and so forth. In a perfect world, the worst thing I'd have to say is that the vertical screens are annoying because they're super punishing given how the gyro blocks work, and falling down these things is always the worst thing ever in Megaman games. Except the level is just keeps going and going and going, and by the end it's just so completely burnt that I don't want anything to do with these things anymore. The difficulty curve reaches its natural peak and then it keeps going. It goes from, oh, there's another section, to this section where you get key after key, and it's so very easy to make a mistake and fall into the pit. Especially the two gyro blocks firing towards the key about halfway through. That it just sapped all enjoyment I was having straight out of me. To the point where I opened 3 key doors in a row, realize there's more, and I just want nothing more than for this to end. It goes beyond what's fun into a tedious mess, and I wish it with all my heart it just ended earlier. It just ends the entire thing on this huge sour note. Alas, our hubris of what we can do versus what should be done will always be our downfall. Quote from someone really fancy, I'm sure. Yeah, this level definitely overstayed its welcome a little bit. I felt that last section with the 6 key doors and all the firing light enemies was just painful, and I literally just face tanked all the damage I could just to get out of the stage by that point. Cool use of the gimmicks, and like the one person said, it's clearly not made by an amateur, and yeah, it's made by somebody who's been using the Megamix engine for years. But not knowing that, I probably would have figured that out as well. Yeah, I don't know. There were some great segments in the level, but they were really hampered by that last segment. That's just me. I'm tempted. It's gonna bring me back to the beginning of the tier, isn't it? Yep. Should have saw that coming. Oh, there's a ladder right there. Let's get this tier done. 2 more levels. 257. I think so. And might end up being my longest stream yet. 11th place, A Spark, Realm of the Lich Lord. Score 77.50. 94, 74, 65, 77. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's only fitting, given who made this level. And you know what's funny? I didn't jump down the frickin' tube that time. It's over here. It's only fitting. I have to. Alright, let's do this again. 11th place, A Spark, Realm of the Lich Lord. Score 77.50. 94, 74, 65, 77. We're off to a great start. Cool edit of the batons. And the skull dispensers. Can I? Yep, I can. This is a nice, dark and gloomy stage. I did not know what those were going to be. Damn it! Jumped way too early. I didn't even remember hearing checkpoint. Ow. Checkpoint. I like the electrical traps shooting in different directions. so cool. However, the electricity does seem a little out of place for this level. I will say this about A-Spark, he definitely knows how to make good-looking stages. Pretty much using crazy raises as bladers. Respawning bladers at that, too. Boss. Yes, indubitably. Now, what are you gonna be accustomed to sprite of? I know custom bosses. Oh, Sonic Man. Okay. Custom bosses aren't allowed in this contest. So he just reskinned one that is not commonly known. And the only reason I know this one is because of that level I played way earlier in the contest. I think that was like tier 2. Yeah, I don't remember how to fight this boss at all, so... yeah. Kinda saw that coming. And the last time I fought him, I'm pretty sure it was on flat land. There we go. That's how it's done. Parmesan. Genuinely, what an amazing looking level. The tiles, the backgrounds, the enemies, the boss, the entire level looks amazing. It also plays really well. This is one of the most solidly built levels in the entire contest. You hit a great balance of each room feeling like its own challenge while also working as part of the greater level. The complementary assets like the moving platform at the start feel neutral and really add to the level without bogging it down. Using the elect blocks with the fire spikes can rack up a lot of damage really quickly if you're careless, but you spaced things out and made it reasonable to figure out what to do without being too easy. The difficulty in this level is just right. This is definitely a level where the designer is better at level design than I am and knows how to make the level really feel like Megaman with their own spin. I think with other addition, I'd either split the indoor section into 2 so there's another checkpoint, or reduce it by maybe 2 screens so it's more forgiving. This feels like a limit of playtesting, but considering how good this level is, it's impressive that this is the only issue. One revision and this level would be so much better, but that's not to say that the level isn't already near the top of the entries. The other limiter is that I think other levels really do something to make something new, whereas this level is just purely beautiful and has superb execution, easily giving it a score over 90. I would never say this level is bad, it just needs a few pushes a little further. PK Ouija. Well then, those are some impressive graphics, if only the level design was equally as impressive. Now, that's not saying that it's not good, but it could definitely have been better. There were some places where the elect blocks felt weirdly timed. The same also applies to the flame spikes. Most sections are fine, though, and that's pretty much the point. They are fine, not much else. MJack. In theory, I love this level. It's got a fantastic sense of place, many creative and enjoyable challenges, and a super detailed aesthetic that pushes the pixel to the limit. And Neil Baldwin music. Nice. But, there's the rub. That same overclocked aesthetic is exactly what hampered my enjoyment of the level. The pixel artistry here is great, but it's also extremely distracting. That's the nice summation of my problem with this level as a whole. It's very busy in a way that detracts from the parts of the level that are good, and large swaths of why the level are very good. There's a lot of different kinds of enemies and projectiles flying at you, and an extremely colorful stage with the complicated background, which means that even the less challenging screens can overwhelm you in a maelstrom of extremely vivid stuff. I think this could be tamped down by nixing the pointons, which are the most frustrating source of clutter in the stage. Some hue shifting to dull down the background would be nice too, even though I think this stage is going for a CGA palette, which I appreciate intellectually, but is still distractingly bright. I like this stage a lot, mind you. It's just very extra. As a final note, while on later playthroughs I didn't have any problems with this, I do think this stage could use a few more checkpoints or pickups. The difficulty is a little high here. Freems. How spooky. This level did a good job sticking to its aesthetic, and it was mostly good in that regard, though a handful of times the background was almost too detailed, making it a little hard to tell where I could stand. And the sprites were definitely a nice touch that added to the level. For the level itself, I had a pretty good time with it. I liked some of the usage of fire spikes. The one moving platform over the fire spikes itself was especially spicy. And while I do think there were times where there was slightly too much going on with the elect blocks and the infinite crazy razy heads, it turned out to be a pretty fun romp, even if a couple of areas got a little too crowded for their own good. I think it goes without saying that the look of this level is absolutely phenomenal. It would almost get a full aesthetic score if Ace did something with the crazy razies, maybe turn them into skeletons as opposed to just keeping them the way they were. However, given the time crunch in this level and all the other aesthetic stuff put into it, I guess that can be forgiven. The level also played well, but there were points where I definitely think it could have been better. Using the crazy razy heads as pretty much bladers against all the elect blocks, like that one judge did say, was a little much, but yeah, I'll formulate my thoughts on this one after a few more playthroughs. Probably not going to be for a while, though. We have one stage left in the tier. My throat is starting to get to me, but we're going to do it. Oh, hey. You're the guy I was talking that I needed to find. I think. A city in the cloud. Oh, that's gonna be that one stage in tier 10. So, I gotta find this dude's credit card, then go to that one stage and find him in there. Wait. Oh. This is the last stage of the tier. Okay. Cool, that means I can actually... I'm not gonna go find that credit card right now. But I am gonna do one thing though, now that I'm done with tier 10. Actually, I'm going the wrong way. What you gotta say now? Yeah, exactly. Haha! I'm great. Take this. Alright. Well, did that a lot longer than I intended, but we are through and we're ready to go to tier 11, which will be the next time. And for that, thank you for watching. And on Tuesday, we will be hitting tier 11. The best stages in the game. And hopefully we can get it all in one sitting, but we will see what happens. For that, see you next time.